ये ब्रिटिशर से आप क्या समझते हो? ब्रिटेन, यूके, इंग्लैंड या कुछ और? तो देखो, ये है यूरोप और इसके जस्ट बाजू में ये जो ग्रुप ऑफ आइलैंड्स है ना, इसके बारे में हम बात करने वाले हैं। चलिए ध्यान से देखिए। इस पूरे एरिया को ब्रिटिश आइल्स कहते हैं, जिसमें दो बड़े आइलैंड्स हैं। ये है आयरलैंड और ये है ग्रेट ब्रिटेन। आयरलैंड में है दो कंट्रीज, नॉर्दर्न आयरलैंड और रिपब्लिक ऑफ आयरलैंड। वहीं ग्रेट ब्रिटेन में है तीन कंट्रीज, इंग्लैंड, स्कॉटलैंड और वेल्स। और ये ही है जिन्होंने इंडिया को रूल किया था। अब जब आप इन तीनों में नॉर्दर्न आयरलैंड को भी जोड़ते हैं तो बनता है यूनाइटेड किंगडम। अब इन चारों का एक कॉमन कैपिटल है लंदन, और ये है इनका कॉमन फ्लैग, और इन चारों का सेम पासपोर्ट भी है यूनाइटेड किंगडम के नाम से।
To the younger generation, let's get informed and inspired by Itihasa. The southwestern Indian coast has been a hub of Indian Ocean trade for centuries. Kottayam and the Malabar region in the current Kerala state were very popular due to the trade in the black gold of the era, pepper. In the 18th century, Hyder Ali of Mysore led many incursions into the Malabar region to expand his religious and territorial ambitions. During one such incursion, Kottayam was invaded. It is said that adversity reveals the true character of people. It was during this invasion that a 21-year-old prince, who was fourth in line of succession, marked himself out as different. The king of Kottayam fled to Travancore and sought asylum there. But Parasiraja, the prince we spoke of, was born to make history. He refused to flee and stayed back to protect his people from the atrocities of Hyder Ali's army and became the de facto ruler of Kottayam. In the way he fought, again, Parasiraja marked himself out as innovative and intelligent. He led an active resistance against the invaders but played to his own strengths. He knew that battling Hyder Ali out in the open would be difficult as he did not have the resources for a prolonged battle. So, he did what the Marathas did to the Mughals. He engaged in guerrilla warfare, leaving Hyder Ali confused and clueless as his army dwindled within no time. The people of Kottayam could see that Parasiraja had put his subjects and country's interests ahead of his own. They also saw that their king was standing between the invaders and them. This gained him massive respect from his subjects. The British used Talasheri as their harbour and naval base. Hyder Ali, in collaboration with the local ruler, imposed an economic blockade to break the backbone of the British. The British were finding it hard to fight Hyder Ali, so they sought the help of Parasiraja. Parasiraja saw this as an opportunity to gain freedom for Kottayam when two invaders were fighting. He made a deliberate tactical alliance with the British. The understanding between the British and Parasiraja was that at the end of the hostilities, the independence of Kottayam would be recognized. Parasiraja won the war for the British. However, the wily British failed to honor their commitment when Malabar as a whole came under their control under the Treaty of Srirangapatnam. They appointed Parasiraja's uncle Veeravarma as the king of Kottayam. Violation or breaching of trust was a part of British East India Company's strategy to expand their imperialism. Although Parasiraja was angered, he still drew solace from the fact that Kottayam was now under a native king. The British then made new laws regarding the cultivation of pepper, which heavily burdened the peasants with new taxes. This was something that angered Parasiraja would not put up with, because he did not mind making personal sacrifices, but he would never allow the oppression of his people. He led an uprising against the British. This is why Parasiraja is known as Kerala Simham. One can be appointed a king, but becoming a leader is a different thing altogether. Parasiraja was a leader because he constantly thought of the welfare of others. He made sure that no tax was collected in Kottayam by the British as a mark of his protest. He also successfully mobilized people of all castes and classes against the British. British were frustrated with the growing influence of Parasiraja. they weren't getting the taxes they hoped they would receive. So they sent an army from Bombay, as it was known then. Percy Raja's palace was sacked, but he managed to flee in the forest of Wayanad. The British were beaming at their success, but what they did not know is they had jumped right out of the frying pan into the fire. Forests were Percy Raja's forte. He started to build an army to wage guerrilla warfare and establish strategic camps which were positioned across the thick forests of Wayanad. Percy Raja secretly built an elaborate system of cantonments and forts in thick jungles and mountainous areas of his country. The British, with no knowledge of the deep forests, began to suffer humiliating losses. A detachment of 1,100 men under Major Cameron was sent to capture Percy Raja, but the Raja's men laid a trap for them. He ordered his troops to lay concealed in camouflage stockades built on both sides of the pass. Once the whole British force entered the narrow pass, hidden troops pounced on their enemy, who was caught unawares. The onslaught was so severe that only a few British soldiers returned alive. Such conflicts continued for the next 4 years until the British came up with their peace treaty with Percy Raja. As a part of the agreement, Veeravarma was deposed as Raja, and Percy Raja's elder brother, Ravi Varma, was appointed as the new monarch. Percy Raja's land that had been taken from him was returned. But we already know how honest the British are when it comes to walking the talk. Later, the British sent Major General Arthur Wellesley. He launched a pincer campaign to capture the Rajas. Percy Raja's devastating guerrilla campaign pinned Wellesley's army down and killed a large number of British soldiers. This war went on for 13 years and is recorded as the Quotient War. The Quotient War, waged by Percy Raja, is the only war in which the globally acclaimed Arthur Wellesley failed. The Quotient War of 13 years also happens to be the longest war fought by the East India Company during their conquests in India, and was much longer than the Anglo-Mysore Wars, Anglo-Maratha Wars, Anglo-Sikh Wars, and Polygon Wars. The British were nowhere near even tracing Percy Raja in the forest of Wayanad. Wellesley returned empty-handed. He was recalled from India to Britain. He was disheartened, and in one of his dispatches to England he said that the British would have a difficult time winning as long as Percy Raja was alive. Percy Raja was formidable, a patriot with an indomitable will. British could not bribe him or manipulate him because he had no selfish motives or personal interests. Arthur Wellesley later defeated the famous Napoleon Bonaparte using some of the guerrilla warfare techniques which he had learned from his encounters with Percy Raja. Remember this, the celebrated Wellesley who humbled Napoleon had earlier been humbled by Percy Raja, whom many Indians aren't even aware of. Coming back to India, the British were peeved by innocent losses. They sent another civil servant, T.H. Babur, to pin Percy Raja down. T.H. Babur hired some local people who had sound knowledge of the dense Wayanad forests. They mingled with Percy Raja's army and leaked the information about his whereabouts. Percy Raja's men did figure out the treachery, but it was too late. He was ambushed in a fierce gun battle and wounded. The wounded king raised his loaded gun and told T.H. Babur not to come too close to his dying body and pollute it. Percy Raja's contempt and sarcasm for the colonizers and their collaborators was evident. He was too proud to let a foreigner's bullet take his life. He laid down his life by consuming poison. His dead body was cremated with military honors by the British. T.H. Babur observed, "I was induced to this conduct from the consideration that although a rebel, he was one of the natural chieftains of the country and might be considered on that account as a fallen enemy." Percy Raja's sacrifice has made him a cult figure in the history of Kerala, and it is time that the rest of India learns about him too. Such are sacrifices that show us what leadership and fortitude are. If indomitable spirit has a name, it has to be Parsi Raja.
മറന്നും പുറത്തുമൊക്കെ ജീവിക്കാൻ ഞാൻ ബ്രാഹ്മണനോ ശൂദ്രനോ വൈശ്യനോ ഒന്നുമല്ല. മന്നാടിയ ക്ഷത്രിയനാണ്. ക്ഷത്രിയൻ നിന്നെ തൂക്കാൻ ഇവിടുത്തെ നിയമത്തിന് ഭയമായിരുന്നു. മരിക്കാൻ നിനക്കും. പക്ഷേ രണ്ടിനും മന്നാടിയാർക്ക് ഭയമില്ല. ഒരുങ്ങിയിരുന്നോ നീ?